If you're in car insurance, don't watch! This is Full Metal Challenge.
Welcome to Full Metal Challenge,
The official Road Rage Olympics.
We converted this disused power station on the south coast of England into a fairground for cars, with 9 games designed to test every aspect of a vehicle's capability.
because the ambition of Full Metal Challenge is no less than to find the toughest, speediest, most agile, versatile and robust machine in the whole world.
The next problem we faced was finding people mad enough to build these machines and come pay our twisted fun fair a visit.
So, we chose 27 teams of daredevil drivers and insane engineers and gave them 1 month to build an ultimate endurance vehicle that would crush the opposition in any test.
Those 27 teams come from all over the world, from China to New Zealand, India to Iceland. All 5 continents are represented in this first ever Auto Olympics.
We gave each of our teams $3,000 and told them to create a machine ready for any imaginable test.
But what we didn't tell them is what those tests would involve. So today, 3 of our teams from around the globe are stepping into the unknown to do battle for a place in the semi-finals. Let's meet them. Our teams this week are Chicago Fire from Illinois in the US.
We're Chicago Fire. We're too hot to handle. Our Machine 911 is going to scorch the competition.
The Have-A-Go-Likelies from Surrey in the UK.
We're the Have-A-Go-Likelies, and you'll know we've had a go when we ride into the final on our machine, the Devil's Mule.
And the Desert Pumas who hail from the Atacama Desert in Chile.
Somos los Desert Pumas. Tenemos las garras para pelear. Marcharemos hacia la final con nuestra máquina, la Marabunta.
Over the course of the day, they'll be competing in a league table of 3 different games. At the end of the 3rd game, the team at the bottom of that table will face the Chimney of Death. The winning 2 teams will go on to our most grueling battle of all, Car Sumo. Only one will survive.
Desert Pumas, are you ready?
Sí, señor!
Chicago Fire, are you ready?
Yeah!
Have-A-Go-Likelies, are you ready?
Yeah!
Then let's get on with the games.
So what if you drove a truck into a bowling alley and started ramming the pins? They'd call you nuts. They'd tell you to pick on someone your own size. Well, all right. How about 10 12-foot-high bowling pins and you as the bowling ball smashing into them as hard as you can? Cool. If you're doing the smashing and I'm doing the watching, let's play 10-pin.
I'm here with Nestor from the Chilean team who's up first today. Nestor, okay?
Okay,
Buena suerte!
thank you.
Nestor will be taking to the alley in the Marabunta, or Soldier Ant, which weighs in at 3,700 pounds. It's equipped with an extra strong chassis, a V6 engine, independent front and rear steering, and double-layer tyres. It's a featherweight, but it could be a tough nut to crack.
And talking of cracking, the Desert Pumas will be driving headlong into 150-pound pins, and we've soaked the alley in soap and water for that extra slip and slide. Each team will get 2 runs to knock down as many pins as they can.
So is he going to try and skid into the Skittles?
No, our team is nervous and we want to make everything good. We want to go slowly but sure.
Okay. The Marabunta is one of the smallest vehicles in the competition, so hitting the pins side on won't help much. Come on, Nestor.
There you go.
Nestor's best bet will be to try and take out all the pins on one side. He's got a great first run.
It's a very speedy run for the Chileans, and he plows into those portly pins with enough oomph, bam, to get all 5 of the right side pins down. Good job.
Cinco más, Néstor.
I think I knew what that meant. 5 more.
Now all he needs to do is the same on the other side.
All right, Nestor!
Nestor, fantástico. Gracias. 10. 10.
Un poquito. Lo que pasa es que estoy acostumbrado antes. Cuando era chico le sacaba el auto a mi papá y hacía lo mismo.
When he was a boy, he used to drive like that as well.
Chilean's hard to beat, 10 out of 10. Next up, we've got the British team.
All right, I'm here with Neil. He is the second man hitting 10 pin. The Chileans got all 10 down. You've got 2 chances to knock down all 10 pins. Are you confident in your ability to do it?
We're going to give it our best shot.
I know you're going to win. All right, sir. Have a good one.
Neil's ride for the day is the Devil's Mule, a sturdy steed at more than 2 tons. Its V8 engine will get it up to a gallop, an articulated pivot gives manoeuvrability, while its front bumper could deliver a nasty kick. But with no suspension, it'll be a rough ride.
In this game, the mule's articulated body should come into its own. If they can knock down one lot of pins, then kick the back around to take out yet more, they'll be laughing all the way to the paddock.
It's harder than it looks, this game, because it goes so much against your instincts to be driving towards something that is completely solid.
Yeah, to me, it would be a dream come true. Presents some deep-rooted problems.
I think
see
you've
stuff
got
on
to
the
the
street, you
heart
just
of
wanna
Henry's
ram it.
psyche within minutes.
All right, he's off.
Come on, Neil!
Come on, Neil.
Down the left! Yes! Nice! Oh!
The Devil's Mule is an uncontrollable beast. Neil's steering like a true equestrian, but the mule's not budging from its straight-line course.
Go on, son.
Come on, Neil!
Come on, Daddy. There he goes.
It's always tricky with a split, but what Neil needs to do is make sure he takes out at least one complete side. Oops.
Neil, I'm not going to call you Nelly, even though your teammates are.
That was a bit disappointing, wasn't it?
A little bit.
Never mind, I think I got a bit greedy, actually.
Is that what it looked like? You were trying to be a bit too clever on the second run.
There you go, never mind.
So what?
Just proved the point, I'm not that clever, didn't it?
Anyway, up next is the Americans.
All right, Mike, you're about to play 10 pin. You have 2 chances to knock down all 10 pins. Best score so far is 10. So you want to knock them all down. You think you can do it?
Let's roll.
I know you can do it. All right, good luck.
On fire truck duty for the day is the 911, a brute of a machine built for strength and a heavyweight at more than 5,000 pounds. It boasts a chunky V8 engine and strong defensive sidebars. Its downside is its long wheelbase, which could mean a bit of trouble manoeuvring.
Though in this game, the length of the machine could be a real advantage for the firemen. If they can get just enough traction to spin it, slide it, and hit the pin sideways, they could be smoking.
Smile?
Smiling?
You both look like something...
I'm worried for Mike. I wonder how Mike feels.
Have you guys given this any thought? You have a strategy on what you're going to do to get them all down?
He's going to try and put it into a slide and try and take out half of the pins on one side. See what happens.
Okay, we're
right,
off
here we go,
any
Mike. Let's
second.
go,
Come
Mike.
on, Mikey.
Flag is down. Off they go.
Well, there's no shortage of speed. He's driving that thing like he's off to rescue a tiny kitten, but he just can't seem to find that slide.
The one thing we didn't want to do was have a split. Yeah.
Well, you got one.
Yeah, looks like, yeah.
The best Mike can hope for is to take out all of one side to beat the Brits.
Get it, come on.
Well, you never know how it's going to go with old 10 pin.
How was that handling?
It was a little rough at first. I wasn't prepared for the slippery surface, but I'm used to driving on.
We warned you.
I drive on ice all the time in Chicago, so I should have been used to it, but I just wasn't ready. It started turning one way, and I was afraid to hit that tire and go off the course. And,
right.
But it.
So is that actually worse than driving on ice?
A lot worse.
Well, really well done. 6 out of 10. Not too bad.
Well, that's the end of the game, and it's very obvious at this point that some teams aren't very good at playing 10-pin. Let's check out the early scores.
In FMC, it's always 3 points for a win, 2 for second, 1 for third, and no points if you don't complete a game. So after round 1, it's 3 points to the Desert Pumas, 2 to Chicago Fire, and 1 to the Have-A-Go Likeleys. Don't forget, 1 month and the equivalent of $3,000 was all our intrepid engineers had to build their vehicles for, well, they knew not what. Let's see how the Chileans did theirs. With more than 100 years of mechanical experience between them, the Desert Pumas were confident of success.
We know we are going to win.
So confident, in fact, that day 1 of the build involved absolutely no work whatsoever. But 2 weeks later, reality was beginning to bite.
La construcción ha salido algo más difícil de lo que teníamos originalmente calculado, pero estamos saliendo adelante y todos los problemas se están resolviendo.
The team's biggest headache by far was their ingenious all-wheel steering and all-wheel drive system. The plan was to mount a single front-wheel drive axle sideways to power a front and rear differential, giving them 4-wheel drive. On top of that, they'd have independent front and rear steering to give them more manoeuvrability and a tighter turning circle. Certainly some fancy engineering, but by no means an easy job. The Pumas were going to have to pull out all the stops to get their vehicle finished in time.
We must work all the night to finish.
But do you think that you might have an advantage being small and compact?
Siendo más pequeño es más maniobrable, puede hacer maniobras con mejor agilidad.
He said he thinks so, yeah, because it's a lot more manoeuvrable because it's smaller.
Right. Were you worried when you arrived here and saw the other vehicles?
Cuando vi los monstruos, me vi realmente como una hormiga.
When he saw the monsters, he really felt like an ant. Because that's what Marabunta is, it's a soldier ant.
One other thing I wanted to ask you is, you're quite a bit older than the other teams. Is that extra experience going to be an advantage here?
Really? Yes.
Sí, es importante ser un poco viejo para algunas cosas.
He says it's important to be old for a few things.
The Desert Pumas may think they're pretty big now, but we'll see how they handle bumper cars. That's coming up next.
Welcome back to Full Metal Challenge, the advanced driving test for psychos.
And the Desert Pumas are in the lead because of this.
But the Chicago Firemen are hot on their heels.
And what none of the teams know yet is that coming up next, they're facing bumper cars, driving to lit up bumpers to score points, and racing to get to them before someone else does or before they smash into you. Well, what would you rather be driving? A soldier ant or a souped-up monster fire truck?
Our second team, Chicago Fire, are all about teamwork. They eat, sleep, and work together, and trust each other with their lives.
Hopefully we're going to win because I want to dedicate all this to the New York firefighters, police officers, and emergency workers for 9/11.
And for the next 2 weeks, confidence was high, with the team fully expecting to smoke the competition. That is, until an FMC scrutineer dropped by.
When the engineers said that our roll cage was not going to meet the safety standards, it kind of let the wind out of our sails.
But in true Chicago Fire style, the team turned up the heat and got back in the game.
The edge on our vehicle is going to be just the sheer brute strength of it. It's going to be hard to hurt. It really is.
But with just 24 hours to go, disaster struck again.
The last day of the build, and we had a major. We were testing the vehicle, and we blew the front axle, the front differential, and that completely put the vehicle out of commission.
But nothing was going to stop this team from meeting their deadline, and within hours 911 was operational again, leaving just enough time for the finishing touches.
We did it! Outstanding.
So what was it like actually putting this together, particularly for your families?
It was kind of tough on the families. We were away from the house a long time and being at work, and then every spare moment we're working on this, so.
How many hours do you reckon you spent on it?
Probably over 100 each.
Really?
I mean, if you were to combine them, it'd be 100 man-hours each, 300 hours easy.
Wow. And so mostly one of you was working at a time?
Mostly, yeah, or two of us.
So would you come back in and then kind of look at what somebody else had done and go, no!
You hit it right on the head. No, what did you do?
That might have happened once.
Oh, really? About what? Come on, spill the beans.
Oh, well, it was difficult because the body design we weren't all too sure on, so, you know, like myself, I started putting body parts on, and they'd come in and go, oh, no, no.
He didn't only do that, he started moving mechanical parts, too. When I seen the steering box laying off to the side, I'm going, oh, Joe.
Well, excellent. You're in second position at the moment, but it could all turn around as we get on with the next game.
You know when you drive by a traffic light and it's knocked to the ground, you know some maniac slammed into it and drove away? Well, if you're one of those kind of maniacs, this next game is for you. Let's play bumper cars.
The teams will have 5 minutes to ram into as many of these obstacles as they can. The short, fat ones score them 50 points, the tall, skinny ones score them 20, but only if they're lit up. If they hit them at any other time, they'll have got whiplash for nothing. The team with the highest score wins. But getting to those bumpers in time is no easy task because the surface is extremely slippery. And once each bumper's been hit, it won't light up again for another 35 seconds. But the drivers don't know that. So will the manoeuvrability of the Brits beat the speed and agility of the Chileans, or will the brute force of the Americans knock them all for 6?
Let's play bumper cars! And they're off, searching out those flashing lights. Oh, the Brits have hit the middle bumper. No points for that. And it's first blood to those brutish Americans. The Brits are almost too maneuverable. They're maypole dancing with that one.
Oh, he got Brits!
And another one for the firemen. It's Britain versus America at this stage. The Marabunta's off on its own somewhere. Thumbs up for dumper trucks. The Brits are storming into the lead. But they've got a problem.
Yeah, the ram on the steering still.
He's steering for all he's worth, but the mule's just going in circles. This could be disastrous for the Brits. And while they struggle, the Americans are playing tortoise. Halfway in, and now it's the speedy soldier ant on the rampage. It's two big ones in a row, and they're in the lead. The Brits are all over the place.
So he can only go in circles!
There's a ram that's turning the vehicle. Letting the seals come off the end of it.
Right.
There, see that?
Oh, yeah. So is that going to be a terminal position?
No, he's still hit another one. Good boy.
There you get that one! Go on, Chile! Yes!
Viva la Marabunta! But the 911 is rocking and rolling too. The firemen are taking it slow and steady, racking up the points. Oh, I think it's a double on that one. In the last stages, the Marabunta is cleaning up. the Americans have sprung into second place. Ooh, it's a cheeky one in the last few seconds. The Chileans have won it, but the teams must endure a moment's torment before they're told the scores.
Okay, teams, I have the scores here in front of me, and I can reveal the Have a Go Likelies scored 310 points.
That's good.
The Chicago Fire, not bad with no steering, Chicago Fire scored 330 points. And the Desert Pumas from Chile scored 400 points. Congratulations. Champion. Thanks to another balletic display by the Marabunta, it's the big 3 points for a win to the Desert Pumas, 2 to Chicago Fire, and 1 to the Have a Go Likelies.
So the position after 2 games is this. The Chileans are sitting very pretty with 2 wins, meaning the maximum 6 points. The Chicago Firemen in second place with 4, and the Likely Lads trailing in third with a meager 2 points.
Well, the Desert Pumas are storming ahead, but things can change quickly round here, and if you've got a dumper truck at your disposal, anything could happen. Have a look at this. There's only one thing that the Have-A-Go's love more than the idyllic peace and quiet of their scenic Surrey countryside. Shattering it.
I'm going to park here! Me!
Given these boys' need for speed, their starting point for the build was a bit of a shocker.
This is our donor vehicle.
It's a 3-ton dumper truck, as used on building sites.
By the time we're finished with this baby, it's going to do 60 miles an hour.
It's tough, it's simple, but there's not too much to go wrong. It's very manoeuvrable with it being articulated.
2 weeks on and the build was progressing nicely, but there was still one key component to be tested.
It lives!
Although the Devil's Mule was up and running, she wasn't quite up to thoroughbred standards.
We've had a problem with the pump. The vehicle's not really drivable at the moment. I think it's down to the gearing on the hydraulics. Taking the pump apart, had a quick look at it, found I've got a couple of spares and bits left over. It's no better.
With time at a premium, the pump problem had to be put on the back burner, as the boys got on with the roll cage.
So we put on the safety mittens to be safe, yeah?
Finally, with 24 hours to go, the Devil's Mule was ready to raise hell. And the boys had even come up with a unique solution to that problematic pump. So would it be fair to say this is a little bit of a bodge job?
No, this is craftsmanship.
Is it craftsmanship?
Yeah, what we've done. We haven't just thrown this together. We haven't just cut bits of metal and welded them together. We really spent a lot of time thinking this out.
Really?
I don't know if you've seen our original drawing. You could tell we spent a lot of time on that as well.
In the pub, quite possibly.
It's actually after the pub.
So what is it about a dumper truck that you like so much?
We could find one.
Yeah.
And,
strength. Yeah, which doesn't really hold any water now it's broken, does it?
No.
There you go.
But not for long.
Well, no, it's just one of those things, really. It's all old kit, so it's bound to break.
But is that really why you kind of like were wandering around, you saw a dumper truck, you thought, that'll do?
We did actually sort of sit down and think about vehicles to use.
Yeah.
And we did come up with a dumper truck and thought it was fairly manoeuvrable.
Yeah.
Good bit of traction, pretty strong. Filled most of the criteria that we needed.
Job done.
That was it, yeah.
Job done. Back down the pub.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck in the next game. We know you can turn it around.
Thank you.
We'll try.
They've had their ups and downs, but how will our teams cope with driving on a roller coaster
and balancing 50 feet in the air?
Whoa! Woohoo! Let's hope very badly. As you know, it's really a lot of work to be kind. Way too much work for me, and that's why this part of Full Metal Challenge is my favorite part of the day. The loser of this next round gets to lose their car to this fiery furnace while I stand beside them as the team cries and I laugh right in their face!
Well, at the moment, it looks like it could be the Have-A-Go Likelies who make Henry's Day, but things could change. Have a look at this. 2 games in and our have-a-go heroes have some catching up to do. They need to win the next one to have even a chance of staying in the game.
The roller coaster, the crown jewel of every theme park. With our roller coaster, you gotta drive your car on it and you're 50 feet up in the air. So the best advice would probably be take it nice and slow. But our event is timed, so to win, you gotta drive really fast. Glad it's not you, right? Right. Let's roller coast.
Our roller coaster is a hair-raising third of a mile of track. There are bends and curves aplenty. A steeply inverse cambered bend is wickedly designed to try and make the teams fall off, and a series of tipping bumps have the same idea in mind. If the teams do come off, they'll incur a 20-second time penalty each time. And as if all that weren't bad enough, our teams also need to negotiate a couple of little obstacles. Namely, 2 50-foot teeters and this 3-way teeter, which is a bit like the world's biggest plate balancing on a pencil tip. Now, of course, the fastest time wins, but in the twisted world of Full Metal Challenge, if they go too fast, they'll fall off. So it'll all come down to skill and good sense. Oh dear.
All right, Nestor, your team is in the lead. You're about to take on the roller coaster. Are you ready?
Okay.
I know you can do it. Have a good ride.
If you lose, never drive again.
He didn't even pause. It's a great start by the little Marabunta, but now he's coming up to that dastardly 30-degree inverse bend. Oh, that's a wheel over the edge. Looks like a 20-second time penalty. He's on to the second teeter, and it's a test of nerves 50 feet up in the air.
Come on, Nestor.
Well, it made all that look easy, but he needs to keep his head now.
He's doing fantastically. He's like one of the fastest we've had. He is Baby Schumacher.
Definitely the man for his job.
Sweetly around that bend like a weasel in a drain pipe. And back on terra firma, he's now on the home straight.
Fantástico. Andai en low.
Fantastic. ¿Está bien? And are you wet?
¿Estás mojado? Very wet.
Very wet. Those barrels of water not only absorb the shock from 3 tons of falling teeter, they also give a bit of a shock to our unsuspecting drivers. The time is 1 minute, 28 seconds and 12 hundredths of a second. 1 penalty. And that was for 1 wheel just leaving the track on the bottom of the inverse camber. So the total, the time is 1:48. Really good time. Cheerly, cheerly.
All right, I'm here with Mike from the Chicago Fire. Mike, you're the second guy to hit the roller coaster today. The time to beat is 1 minute and 48 seconds. Are you ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready to do it.
I knew you'd be ready to do it. Have a good run.
The firemen have the speed and the power, but will the 911 be maneuverable enough around those tight turns? Nice. Nice.
See how the vehicle takes that first
There's a lot of smoke, isn't there? Why is that?
water got on the engine, it's just steaming. I hope.
He's going to have trouble staying on that bend, I would say.
All right,
He's doing good.
Doing pretty good. Come on, Mikey. Atta boy.
Nice one.
Even with that long wheelbase, he's got round with no penalties. Amazing driving. And he's quicker than the Chileans coming into the second teeter. quicker, but with all that water and steam, he's driving blind. But he's made it up onto the three-way teeter.
This comes down with a real bang.
Like that.
Kick it to the bridge, Mike. He's still ahead on time. Oh, he's very close to the edge. That 20-second penalty can make all the difference to the firemen.
Nice! Something telling me you quite enjoyed that.
Oh, that was great. I took my daily shower, too.
You're completely son. Your engine was smoking quite a bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, that stopped my vision. I couldn't see from the steam from the radiator, and then the water got me good.
There was a bit actually on the rightly cambered bend where you were very, very close to the top. I thought you were going to actually slip a wheel over the top.
We're going to have to see a replay of that.
Your time for running the course was 1:35.
Yeah!
Which is very handy.
That's the good news.
There was one penalty, only one penalty, but that was where we thought, on the bend at the top there, just one wheel.
We got to
on
get the
top.
replay coach over here.
We'll get him in. In the meantime, we'll get on with the Brits.
It's all down to the have-a-go likelies. We'll see how they perform under pressure right after this.
Welcome back to the final run of Roller Coaster, and for the have-a-go likelies, it really is all or nothing.
All right, Baz, it behooves you to have an exceptionally quick run on this. The time to beat is 1 minute and 48 seconds.
Whoa.
If you lose this event, I get to take possession of your vehicle and take it to my incinerator and stand next to you and laugh as it burns and is blown apart. I cannot tell you how much I like to see hand-welded vehicles be blown up and burned beyond recognition. It's what I live for. Don't let it be yours. Have a good ride.
He's going to go, no barrier, he'll go through.
Is he? But the way to do this is not foot down.
Well, that's his style, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's just generally got one gear, really.
Oh, dear.
Oh, he's on or he's off?
He's off, and with apparently just one speed, fast, and no suspension, it could be a white-knuckle ride. He's wet now.
Come on, come on!
So bouncy, isn't it?
Very bouncy.
No suspension.
With no suspension to absorb the shock, the mule is bucking and rearing like there's no tomorrow. And that's on the so-called straight. How on earth will he cope on the inverse camber? Not well. Bet Barry's ruining the day he set eyes on that dumper truck. Oh, but he's temporarily back on track.
Come on, but not too mad.
There we go.
That's making good telly, eh?
Nice back to there.
And didn't they have a go?
Whoa.
That's a...
Whoa! Woohoo!
Get in there.
I guess this explains why you don't see too many dumper trucks riding on roller coasters.
Those tyres, the place got a puncture. Come off the rim.
It's a plucky run.
Well done. That was brilliant.
That was hilarious.
A bit of an handful.
It's not really a handy little runaround, is it, this one? You were bouncing around like a lunatic.
When you land, you
it bounces you back, the machine jumps off the ramp and you can't see, you're in the air and there's water everywhere, so you just go, well, I was straight, I'll just keep going.
Your teammates were impressed, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic run.
I think that was the definition of having a go.
I should have marked for artistic impression. I think we do well. Not about time.
Well, hopefully the referees will take that into consideration.
Well, maybe,
yeah. Must have been over the white line more than I was in it.
Well, I've been given the time, and the time it took you to do the course was a very respectable 1 minute and 54. What was slightly less respectable was the number of penalties, which was 6, which added 2 minutes to your time, making 3 minutes and 54 seconds.
I think that's
there
outstanding.
We go. Early bath for us.
Early bath, but much respect. Even with the Devil's Mule galloping and whinnying around that course, it's just not quite enough to turn the Havigo's fortunes around. It's just 1 point again for them, 2 for Chicago Fire, and 3 for yet another win by the Desert Pumas.
So at the end of 3 games, the final scores look like this. Time for the Brits to meet their maker.
Well, Brits, you came, you saw, you had a go.
Oh, we certainly had a go.
That last run, did that make it all worthwhile?
It was eventful, to say the least.
It was good television, wasn't it?
Do or die.
It was totally do or die.
It had to be. It was the only way. It was the only way we could go from that point. It was do or die.
The Devil's Mule.
Yeah,
it was kicking for all it was worth. Well, I've got to say, it's always sad to see a team go.
It's so sad to see it. It's really nice having you. The Devil's Mule, they were really good. Yeah, it was really nice that you did the thing. Just whatever.
Blow it up, burn it, let's go.
You can't argue with that.
Snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Well, the Have-A-Go-Likely's hopes have gone up in smoke, but for our 2 survivors, things are about to get even hotter.
You want to see 2 cars have a shoving match? Hang around and check out Sumo coming up next.
Yeah, hang around. Welcome back to Full Metal Challenge, and for our 2 surviving teams, it's all been building up to this.
You can't do much better than 10 out of 10, and that's just what the Chileans got on the bowling alley. They were also top of the heap in bumper cars, but the firemen were hot on their heels, and their rally driving antics on the roller coaster made it the hat trick. But that's all in the past as we clear the slate for Sumo.
The next event is Sumo, and we're going to play it Full Metal Challenge style, which means we're going to take the 2 drivers from the 2 remaining teams, strip them down to their underwear, and have them shove each other around this ring. Not going to happen while I'm the boss around here. What we're going to do is we're going to put the 2 drivers in their vehicles and have them smash into each other and push each other into barbed wire and spikes and anything else that'll mess their vehicles up. May the driver and vehicle with mucho gusto be victorious. Let's play Sumo.
It's machine versus machine as one driver tries to shove their opponent's vehicle entirely outside the ring. But they better watch where they're going because there's all kinds of disabling hazards in here. The one thing there's no room for is fear, because this fuel-injected grudge match is going to decide who's going to the semi-finals and who's going home. In the blue corner, it's the small but perfectly formed Marabunta, sporting a handy 2.5-litre V6 engine. It's a speedy little mover, but the definite lightweight of this wrestling match. In the red corner, it's the Monster 911 on a mission of destruction. With a weight advantage of nearly half a ton over the little Marabunta and an engine 25% more powerful, it would have to be the bookie's favourite.
So who'll win the day? The nimble-footed South American soldier ant or the heavyweight warrior from the United States?
Each round will last 2 minutes. In round 1, the fight arena is the maximum size, over 100 feet up to the outermost black ring. But after each round, the battleground shrinks in size by 1 ring. And so it goes on until someone is knocked out, incapacitated, or surrenders.
Let's play Sumo.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sumo! Just as Nestor promised, the Marabunta is lying in wait. That's smart play when you're the little guy.
This is interesting. He's just waiting.
He's not letting the Americans get a hit in. It's the first hit for 911. But like the Chileans said, they're quicker. The Americans can't catch him. Oh, but he's in the tire spikes. Let's hope those extra thick tires hold out.
He's being very clever. He's got him.
That was an inspired piece of play by the Chileans. They wait until the Americans are stuck spinning in the water. They back up and they ram them. Sweet. Head to head. And the little fella's winning. It's impossible.
Saved by the bell. It's the end of round one. And amazingly, it's the firemen who are struggling. Oh, and they seem to be starting a fire of their own. I think it's farewell radiator hose. But why is he not moving?
Do you have any idea what the problem is?
I thought that maybe just a four-wheel drive might have popped out from the shifter, but I get the feeling that it's something a little bit more serious than that now.
The problem's actually with their automatic gearbox. It's got jammed and now they're down to just 2 gears. But they're back in position, ready for round 2, which will take place within the white ring, second one in.
3, 2, 1, Sumo! Gears to defend themselves, the Americans are getting their butts kicked. The Americans can't move. They've lost all their gears. It's an absolute textbook T-bone. Right in the stomach. Boof! The firemen are sitting ducks.
What are you saying to him?
In the center.
In the center.
The Chileans are taking no prisoners. Nestor the fearless warrior heads towards his prey. And those hardy American firefighters just haven't got any fight left. They've had enough. The Americans are surrendering. It's all over.
¡Viva Chile!
In a battle of biblical proportions, David slays Goliath.
That was absolutely fantastic. We're very sorry to say goodbye to you guys, the Americans. You've been great competitors. But the undisputed champions today, the Desert Pumas!
That's all from us here at Full Metal Challenge. You don't want to miss a second of this. We'll see you next week. Thanks a lot.
So the Desert Pumas have secured their place in the semi-finals. And in the next show, 3 new teams from India, the UK and the US lock horns in another series of battles to see who will meet them there.